Namaste. Dream analysis is an esoteric and a very fascinating subject. Dream analysis in Eastern and the Western countries was traditionally done in a very different way. And to understand how different it was, we have with us our subject expert, Mr. Himanshu Vaidya. Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
So, can we start off with the history of Eastern and Western countries? I mean, dream analysis in the Eastern and Western countries?
Dream analysis has a very long history. If we go to uh, the Western tradition, there is a prehistoric tradition, there is a Greek tradition, there is a Christian tradition, there is a tradition of Renaissance and the Industrial Revolution and modernity. And then you have the tradition of hypnosis and finally psychoanalysis. So there is a long historical line in evolution of this area of dream analysis. If we go to the prehistoric times, it was very common both in East and West to get up in the morning and often innocently narrate one's dream and analyze it with community members or friends, and based upon it, uh, try to plan out how to live and what to do during the day or during the week or during a particular period of time. So it was dream analysis was very much a part of everyone's life. And this is true both of East and the West. However, once we have the Judo-Christian Abrahamical civilization taking root in the West, we see a very different history of dream analysis. In the pre-Abrahamical period, we had the Greek way of interpreting a dream, which involved many gods, forces of nature, and their own worldview of how reality is constructed, how the mind operates, what is the goal of life, and therefore what is the meaning of the dream. And in modern Jungian analysis, some of the archetypal part of that dream analysis still can be found. After the Greek period in the West, we come to the Christian era. And there, psychology and philosophy and theology, they primarily developed within the Christian seminary. And therefore, it had a strong theological flavor to it. So like psychology, like philosophy, dream analysis also got a very strong theocratic flavor to itself. And then we had a very important movement of hypnosis, where during the period when hypnosis was used, dream analysis again became very important and significant. And then we had a period of modernity and early part of modern medicine, where the dream was seen as something useless, a delirious activity of the brain when the coordinator is asleep. So the whole concept of the fact that a dream can have a meaning and have a purpose and can be used profitably in some way, the whole concept went out of the window. And this was broken by Sigmund Freud when he published the classical work Interpretation of Dreams. And from that point onwards, dreams have always been seen as something very precious, very meaningful for knowing oneself, for healing oneself, and for living one's future life. And there is a endless mystery inside a dream. Will Durant writes very well. He says, physiology has found endless mystery in an organ, and psychology has found endless mystery in a dream. That if you go into a dream, you can spend a lifetime and still not understand dream analysis completely. And this is how complicated the dream is. Just as people who do orthopedics, they spend a lifetime and still they don't understand fully how the bones and the muscles work. Similarly, people can spend a lifetime analyzing dreams and still not understand completely. There is a unexhausting, endless mystery in a dream. Just as a physicist finds endless mystery in an atom, and a geologist finds endless mystery in a stone. Similarly, a psychologist finds endless mystery in a dream. This is how the Western tradition has been. And after Freud, we had a different form of dream analysis by Jung, by Klein, by Kohut, and lastly using the lucid dream analysis method, which brought in a completely new dimension to dream interpretation, dream analysis, and dream management. So this is one part of the Western tradition. Parallel to this is a Eastern tradition, and the Eastern tradition also has its own history. The earliest history has to do with the Vedic period, where in the East there was a yogic model of the mind, a tantric model of the mind, and a many worlds or many zones model of the mind used practically by everyone. And these three models of the mind continue even today. And these three models were used in very ancient times in the East. And we are talking about the pre-Buddhic Buddhist Vedic past. And then we had a Buddhist period in the East where the Buddhist philosophy, the Buddhist model of the mind, uh, and all the schools of Buddhism, they became very influential and they developed their own ways of dream analysis. And this continues even today, that the Tibetan school has its own model, the Sri Lankan school has its own model, the Indonesian Buddhist school has its own model, the Chinese Buddhist school has its own model, and the Japanese Zen school has its own model. So all of them have their own ways of interpreting a dream. And naturally, no model is complete or perfect. Everything has strengths and weaknesses, and we have to mix and match using our judgment, our knowledge, and our intuitive skill to arrive at truthful and comprehensive and useful dream analysis.
So, what is the difference? What is when you say real difference in the Eastern and the Western schools of dream analysis?
Uh, Dream analysis, the way it is done, is a function of the model of the mind. If the model of the mind changes, the approach of dream analysis automatically will change. Take, for example, the Freudian model and the Jungian model. In the Freudian model, you don't have the concept of collective unconscious and archetypes. And if you don't have these concepts in your model of the mind, they cannot come up in dream analysis. Similarly, in the East, we have the concept of the soul and reincarnation. And if these concepts you don't believe in, certain elements will not come out in your dream analysis. The East has its own view on how a human mind or a human integer is constructed and how the reality is constructed. So when they believe in the East that there is a physical zone of the universe, an energy zone, an emotional zone, a thought zone, a karmic zone, and a pure consciousness zone, once you have this kind of a model of reality, it will inevitably lead to very different dream analysis. So the differences are very fundamental. They are the differences of philosophy, model of the mind, view of reality, view of human integer, the purpose of human life, the purpose of the dream, and the effect of spiritual processes. These being different, the outcomes and the methods are very different in the East and the West. So, East and the West have very different methods and very different approaches to understanding a dream and analyzing the dream and even using the dream.
So then what are the classical methods of dream analysis when you say in East and West?
In the West, you have two approaches: the theological Christian approach, and to some extent, uh, approaches in Judaism, which are not very popular in the scientific psychological area, but they are there. And then you have the psychoanalytic approaches to dream analysis, which are very popular. So today, when you say dream analysis, essentially you are meaning psychoanalytic dream analysis. Because non-psychoanalytic schools, either they don't do it very well, very rigorously, or they don't put much emphasis on this, or they go into a oversimplified dream analysis. So when you look at real rigorous dream analysis in psychology today, you are essentially looking at psychoanalytic dream analysis. And in that, you have a Freudian method, a Jungian method, a Kleinian method, a Cohusian method, and today you also have a lucid dream analysis coming in to complement all these methods in a tangential way. It doesn't completely fit in, but there's some value it adds to the existing methods. This is in the West. In the East, you have the method which is based upon the yogic model of the mind, the tantric model of the mind, the many zones of reality approach to reality, Sri Aurobindo's model of the mind, and many methods in the Buddhist and Jain philosophical schools. All these are approaches to dream analysis in the East. And all of this, if you take up a same dream and apply different methods, you will end up with a very different dream analysis. And therefore, the skill is to choose which methods to apply on a dream, how, on what elements, and how to come to a consolidated, correct, comprehensive, and accurate, and very helpful and purposeful dream analysis.
So how recent is lucid?
Uh, can you repeat the question?
How recent is the lucid dreaming technique of dream analysis? I mean, not dream analysis, obviously.
Uh, Lucid dreaming came up out of the Stanford Dream Research Project, and it also came up by from the work of Stephen LaBerge. I don't recollect the name completely, but he has written a very popular book of
Okay.
on lucid dreaming, and this I think is about, if I am not mistaken, maybe around 30, 25, 30 years old, the whole project. And the main uh, thrust of lucid dreaming came up about 20, 25 years back and rose to very high popularity of all that can be done by lucid dreaming. So people have done all kinds of experiments for self-healing, self-knowing, self-potential enhancement, and so on. So uh, unfortunately, lucid dreaming has seen a sort of a decline in popularity. So the kind of rise it had, it did not sustain for long. It's slowly, not slowly, but rapidly went down. And that may have to do with over promising and under delivering. And bringing so much of lucidity that dream no longer remains a dream and becomes more like a normal thought envisioning process. So today people are interested, but not many. Uh, the best days of lucid dreaming are in the past. I'm sure if somebody creatively works upon it, there are a lot of valuable things to be incorporated from that area into dream analysis.
I think it's a wonderful healing technique as far as I have experienced it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm. So, sir, is there a way where we can use both the approaches, the Eastern and the Western combined in dream analysis?
Yes, not only it is possible, it is actually an imperative, because when a dreamer dreams a dream, he does not go to sleep telling himself that today I will dream a dream which will be solved by a Freudian method. He just goes to sleep and he dreams whatever comes up. And he does not know anything about the schools of psychoanalysis, East or West. So, what happens is when you get a dream or dream analysis, the same dream will require you to apply Freudian method in some part of the dream, the Kleinian method in another part of the dream, and the Eastern Tantric method or the many worlds method in other parts of the dream. So it is not only possible, it is actually a necessity that dreams come out using uh, all sorts of things available to the unconscious. And the unconscious is not concerned about your state of knowledge. And if you don't adequately know adequate number of schools and the skill how to apply it, you will not come up with an accurate interpretation. The difficulty with dream analysis is anybody can say anything and get away. And therefore, to know if the dream analysis is correct or not, we put three criteria. The first criteria is the dreamer should feel that the analysis is on the point. So in general, we take his consent, his consensus along with us for analyzing the dream. Occasionally, when the defenses are very large, very strong, we may not consider what he is saying. But in 80% of the cases, we give a lot of importance to what he says. One. Two is what changes are brought about after dream analysis. That at times the person may reject the analysis, but you will see changes happening in the person, which means the rejection was because of defenses. In reality, although consciously the person has rejected your analysis, unconsciously he knows it is true. And therefore, change is seen in his thoughts, his feelings, and his behavior. So the second thing is change. And the third thing is self-knowing and future planning. Does it tell you something about the person and the person agrees that this is a deeper part of himself he never knew otherwise? And this is what the dream says how he should live in the future. So these are the criteria to be applied to know whether an analysis given is right or wrong. Otherwise, anybody can give any analysis and get away. And this is one of the areas where you can easily give an analysis which is pleasant to the person, even if not true. And the person will happily accept it. If you give any idealizing analysis, the person is going to feel gratified. And if you bring out the difficult parts of the unconscious, the person may have rage towards you or dislike towards you. So there will be a contest between customer satisfaction and the truth. And as analysts, we have to abide by the truth and not pander to the customer satisfaction when it has to compromise with the truth as we believe in. So we can definitely use multiple schools. We have to use multiple schools, and to do it, I have created a 7-step method of dream analysis where you can use multiple schools of East and West put together and arrive at multiple analysis and consolidate into one. Or straight away, if you have the skill, go for a direct consolidated analysis using schools, many schools of the East and many schools of the West.
Yes. And what is your preferred way of analysis, the Eastern or the Western? I personally prefer the West.
Um, I prefer the Western in overall, and I complement it using the Eastern. And the reason is this, that I
Yeah.
get most of the clients who have some psychological difficulty. And therefore, for them, the analysis of pathology which comes up in the dream is very important. And Western methods are very good in the pathological area of dream analysis. However, if somebody is practicing some spiritual process and he wants to get his dreams analyzed, then I would bring in more of the Eastern tradition, which is better for people who are deeply involved in some spiritual process. So overall, I prefer the West more because that is the kind of clientele I get. But if I get somebody from the mystical spiritual side, I use the Eastern method also. And in some dreams, there is no choice but to use both of them. And some of the dreams I have analyzed, and you can see it on my blog, uh, where I have used both the methods. And in my book also, you will find many dreams analyzed using multiple methods of West and multiple methods of East to arrive at a consolidated dream analysis.
So is dream analysis used in East and West both to decide on important aspects of living?
Sorry, on?
Is it used in East and West to decide on what are the important aspects of living?
Yes, in the East, this is very important and a long tradition. To use the dreams to know something about your life, your incarnation, your ancestors, your travel outside the body when you are asleep, and messages from other worlds, or input into the spiritual processes you are undertaking. So this is a very important tradition in the East. In the West, uh, the Freudians and the Kleinians use essentially the dream to understand their pathology and work upon it in real life, both inside and outside. But the maximum use of dream analysis is done by the Jungians, because it is said that if you ask the Jungian to do anything, he will say, let me sleep over it, see the dream, and then come back to you. So the Jungians use dream analysis in maximum proportion to guide their lives. Some people who are using a very religious mode of dream analysis, be it in the Christian tradition or Buddhist tradition or Jain tradition or other more mainstream Vedic traditions, they use it primarily to help them proceed in their own spiritual process or sadhana. But if you look at history, uh, many important events happened in dreams, like uh, arriving at the chemical structure of benzene, or Archimedes solving some problem, or Einstein solving some problem, or a king deciding to launch an attack or not launch an attack. There are many examples in history where dream analysis has played a very important part in almost shaping history. So, not only in history, but in recent times also, there are schools and there are groups of people who are heavily invested in dream analysis and its significance, and who take it seriously and use it for healing and living.
So sorry, can we expect a comprehensive synthesis of the theory of dream analysis in future? You see it happening instead of having two parts?
Yes, because uh, synthesis is not only desirable, it's also essential, because uh, neither is better than the other. It is not that the West is better than the East or the East is better than the West. Both have their strengths and weaknesses. The Western approaches are very good for dealing with pathology, and the Eastern approaches are very good for dealing with issues related to human potential, mysticism, and spirituality. Now, integration can happen if the integration happens primarily at the level of model of the mind. If at the level of model of the mind we cannot integrate, there is no way we can integrate at the level of method of dream analysis. Now that is a difficult challenge, how to integrate them. And I have created one model, the heat model of the mind, which sort of integrates the many Western models and the Eastern models of the mind. I am not sure to what extent it will stand the test of empirical validation, but either this model or its modification or something on these lines will have to be created, tested out, established, so that at the model of the mind level, integration happens, and then integration automatically will happen in pathogenesis, healing, and also in dream analysis. Till that time, what do we do? Till that time, what we can do is what I have done in my book on dream analysis, that you take up a dream, use each of the schools, 4 or 5 schools of the West, 4 or 5 schools of the East, create independent interpretations, and then consolidate them into one. And use my 7-step method of dream analysis to do this process. So even when you don't have integration at the level of model of the mind, you still can draw benefit of consolidated dream analysis.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, sir, and getting to know how different it is in the East and the Western countries. And this was relatively a short video, and that was purely uh, an effort on ours from our side because of your inputs. Thank you very much. Do write to us at hvindia@gmail.com. Till then, take care.
Namaste.